You keep saying, I object, I object, I object. I don't care. Why'd you just waste 5 minutes of my life? Yes or no, Mr. Actions mean shit to me. I don't expect people to like every decision I make. Kelsey Kraft? Come on up, counsel. Yeah, that's fine. Your appearance.
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Thomas Courts, P77177, appearing on behalf of the defendant who stands to my right. Can you state your name for the record, please?
Kelsey Ann Kraft.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What do we got? Oh, guilty plea.
Yes, Your
Okay,
Honor.
all right. Okay. All right, Ms. Kraft, did you go over your rights and the options those rights give you with counsel?
Yes, sir. I did.
Understood all that?
Yes, sir.
You understand the possible penalty for today's charge?
Yes.
Understanding the possible penalty and your rights and options, are you in fact pleading guilty today freely and voluntarily to the charge?
I am.
Counsel, would you like to voir dire to give me the facts I need? May 22nd incident date?
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Yes, on or about May 22nd, 2023, and the surrounding period of the school year for that year, was your child enrolled in Huron Township?
Yes.
And during that time, did you allow your child to miss roughly 42 days of school?
Yes.
Your Honor, I believe that is.
Are you satisfied?
Yes, Your Honor.
I think those facts support the plea. Son or daughter?
Daughter.
What's her name?
Melody.
Melody, how old is Melody?
She will be 11 October 9th.
Okay, what's that make her? Fifth or
10th.
sixth grade?
She'll be in 5th.
Fifth grade? All right. And what was the problem with attendance?
We had a housing issue. We were in Huron and then we moved. They sent us a letter and it got sent back to the school.
Okay, so that became a transportation issue and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. All right.
Then they
so
wanted me to switch her into a
do we have that stuff all resolved for September?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Okay. So I'm assuming council's explain how this works. So for 12 months, you stay out of trouble, don't go on any crime sprees. And we don't have any more problems with Melanie in attendance.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you're having any issues, I'm going to suggest we've got a wonderful resource. I mean, I know the schools have resources, but we've got a wonderful resource here because I've been running a juvenile program for over 20 years, and that lady has been my probation officer for almost all that time. So she's got a whole toolbox full of resources that are great for parents. So if you're having any issues, just reach out to her and see what she can help you with.
Okay.
Any questions?
No, sir.
Have a nice day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome, counsel. Is it Marquise? Marcus, come on up. Are you going forward today without a court-appointed attorney? Okay. And you read your rights?
Yes.
Understand those rights?
Yep.
Understand the options?
Yep.
Understand the possible penalty?
Yep.
Understanding all of that, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
All right. Tell me what was going on roughly May 21, 24 regarding attendance.
Braden has some.
Braden?
Yeah, he has some issues regarding his mother, so he's in therapy now and we're working to get it.
How old is he?
8.
Great. Where's he in therapy at?
Where's it? Team Wellness.
Oh, great. Great. Yeah. We know the program well.
Yeah.
Good.
So we're working to get it resolved.
Okay. So basically he just got crap and that was keeping him from focusing on school.
Yeah.
So he's
pretty
dealing
much.
with his crap.
Yes.
Okay. How often is he going? Every 2 weeks? Once a month?
Once a month
How long has he been doing that?
since January.
Oh, good.
So
he's got a
we're
good
trying.
start.
We're
Okay.
trying.
Okay. He seemed to be benefiting from the counseling?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right, good. All right. So did you hear how this works?
Yeah.
Can you stay out of trouble for 12 months?
Yeah.
Okay. If you're having any problems, same thing. I'm going to have the officer give you Miss
Okay.
Oswald's card.
Sounds good.
And she knows Team Wellness, so she'd be happy to hear that that's where he's at.
Alrighty.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Matthew, is it Crucell or Crucell? Crucell, come on up. Actually, we got a motion today, don't we?
We do.
You got a motion filed?
Yeah, oh, yes, absolutely. I actually had issues to discuss before I crossed.
But the court reporter needs to pick you up.
Here, you don't have to be at the podium, but at least have a seat at that table where that microphone is.
Threats, forwards, and I'm under duress, I'll cross.
You're under duress. How are you under duress?
Well, Your Honor, as stated in my motion, there's actually project worded up since been signed by a judge. I have lawsuits filed on all of this stuff right now, which I know that they received.
Hold on, brother, wait. I'm just asking you to have a seat at the chair with a microphone.
Oh, I understand that. I'll do it. Okay. Just trying to protect myself here.
That's fine, just make sure you're talking to the microphone.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, you can sit down. Okay, so I think this is your motion to dismiss, right?
Yeah, I have a few in there that I've been repeatedly trying
Okay,
to be
well, which one do you
dismissed.
want to start with first?
Well, the recent one I filed, the motion to reject the swearing in and all that based off the fact that, like I said, I was sent a default motion that, I don't know how it even got sent out past it, but it was never signed or anything. I was also defaulted off the fact that there was a citation. I never even presented a court appearance.
Okay, hold
date
on,
and
you're
all
giving me
that
too
stuff.
many issues. You're talking about swearing in, you're talking about a default judgment, which, just pick one issue, we're gonna deal with it one at a time. So what do you want to deal with first? You wanna
Well,
deal
my
with the
main motion.
default?
Well, yeah, the default.
Okay, so was that on the civil infraction, failed to disclose the CPL?
I suppose that's what it was under, yes.
Okay, what? Don't suppose, it's your motion, brother. Tell me what it is.
Well, it keeps
I
getting
mean,
set
that's the only
aside, so I
civil
have,
infraction.
I have numerous, I
Hold
have
on,
lots of stuff.
Hold on,
going
that's
here.
the only civil infraction I see with your name on it. So I'm just confirming that we're talking
Yes,
about
it was over
that
the-
charge.
Yeah, sure. it was over
Okay.
that.
So do you know why the default was entered? Did you miss a deadline? Did you
Well,
not?
I was notified, I was called by people that I know within Huron and the police chief stating that I had a missed appearance date. I never had an appearance date scheduled, but I went back looking at the citation, there was no date, and actually how fast it got issued would raises real concerns to me. And then once I received the default in
Okay,
the
hold
order.
on, hold on. Let's take one thing at a time. So you said you never got an appearance date.
Correct.
Do you have a copy of the ticket? Because I've got a copy.
Yeah, I
of the
said
ticket.
it's in there, it's attached to my motions.
Okay, do you have a copy of
Yes,
the ticket?
I do.
Okay, then I'm gonna ask you to look at that copy of the ticket. Because my copy of your ticket says contact court for appearance date.
It says contact court for appearance date, where it says appearance date on or before, there's nothing.
Okay,
They
but
didn't
it
give me no
says,
time frame.
it says contact court for appearance date. That
How
means the
long?
monkey's on your back to contact us.
I will also on the bottom of the tickets, it says, if you fail to contact court within the specified amount of time, there was no specified amount of time on here. I had no idea when I was supposed to contact court. I was dealing with trying to get my
Well, let me
attorneys.
ask you this. Did you contact the court?
I was again, as I said, I had no sort of any time frame
Mr.
to
Crucell,
contact the
Mr.
court.
Crucell, this is gonna go a lot easier on everybody if you just answer the question I asked. I'm gonna give you plenty of chance to give me any argument you want to give. Okay? So don't feel that you have to force your argument into every question I ask. The question was, did you contact the court?
Well, Your Honor, I would have contacted the court if I had a specified.
That's a yes or no. So I'm gonna take that as a no. You didn't contact the court. So after 14 days on a civil infraction, if we don't hear from the defendant, we enter default.
It was less than that actually when I was defaulted, Your Honor.
Less than that from what?
From whatever this was issued. And like I said, I was contacting.
Well, once
attorneys.
again, I'm gonna draw your attention to the ticket. My ticket, which I think is the same one you got, is dated February 3rd.
Correct.
Okay, so that's when it was issued, February 3rd.
Correct.
So when was the default? When did you get notice of a default?
Actually, I received, I'm sorry, I know I got the thing in the mail. When did I get this? This says that. I don't think it specifies a date.
Well, did you make a note when you received it?
This told me, this said I had I don't remember exactly what date I received this in the
Okay.
mail, but this was scheduled for March 8th.
Okay.
So that was even less than.
But what is that that's scheduled?
This says it was for my order, the motion affidavit saying that I was defaulted and saying I needed to pay bond and an a warrant would be issued. And I said,
Okay.
again, that was never.
And that's dated what?
This was dated 3/8. That I needed to appear
Okay.
on or before 3/8.
Okay, so that was March 8th. You were defaulted February 22nd.
Okay. Which then, again, there was no dates. I had nothing. I had no
Okay.
notice
Well,
of any
well,
sort of.
Once again,
appearance.
you're not hearing what I'm telling you. The monkey was on your back. The ticket clearly said you contact us. You never did.
And it also specifies right here, if you fail to appear by the date specified, and then on the bottom one, even for the other one, if you fail to answer a citation by date specified, there was no dates.
Okay,
There was no dates.
okay. Do you have anything to add?
I do, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Mr. Crusoe brought this up when we were in front of the Honorable Judge Martin. She did set aside The default of a civil infraction, irregardless of whether or not he showed up.
Which I object to the setting
Sir,
aside.
do not interrupt the lady. Did she interrupt you?
No,
Then don't do that. Let's be civil. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Judge Green, Mr. Purcell did bring it up again with the Honorable Judge Green, and she declined or denied his motion based on the fact that it was moot because the Judge Martin set it aside.
So the default's already been set aside.
Yes,
Brother, why'd you just waste 5 minutes of my life?
since March 14th, Your Honor.
which I object to that because there's.
You object to your motion being
No, I
granted?
object to them setting aside my motion. And I
No,
object
no,
to
no,
this.
no, wait, listen. She tells me Judge Martin set aside the default based on your motion.
Yes, but I was never told any of that prior to any of that.
So you want to argue about the fact that you got what you asked for?
No, what I'm saying is the fact that the due process was violated is what happened in this whole problem. When I was defaulted, due process was violated.
So what? She set it aside.
Not, listen, okay, it was set aside to cause damages to me because of what happened with the default.
Well, explain to me how you were damaged.
First off, there's threats made against me, right? Clearly he's threatening me to
No,
issue
no, no.
warrants,
I didn't ask you
threatening to
about
pay
threats.
money.
I said, how were you? You said you were damaged. I'm asking you, what was the damage?
But the fact that I was threatened to come in and pay money or warrants. would
How
be
was that
issued for my
damage?
arrest. And I was being threatened by Huron Police, which I have on record.
What's the damage?
What do you mean? The fact that I had to come in and pay money or I would have been, they'd have been issued.
What money
warrants.
did you pay?
Huh?
What money did you pay?
$280. I had the receipt and everything. It was all attached to my motions. They just keep trying to set it aside. And Judge Green never said a word to me
Stop.
about any of that.
It's been set aside. Counsel just said, Judge Martin set aside the default. So what that means is procedurally, it's like it's a brand new file. Understood?
Yeah, but that's according, yeah, but that, especially now with the new Chevron overlay, that's just saying that she's just trying to set it aside, that there's no issues.
She didn't try to set it aside. She sat it
But she
aside.
can't. She can't just set my rights aside.
She's not setting your rights aside. She set a default aside because you asked her to.
Well, so if it's set aside, then the money should be returned, correct?
Well, I don't know. Did she address the money?
I don't
No,
think so.
she never did. No one did. It's
Sir.
written in my motion.
Sir, I'm gonna hold you in contempt the next time you cut her off. The first contempt, $100. The second contempt, a day in jail. Are we clear on the ground rules for my courtroom? Is that a yes for the
Yes, Your
record?
Honor.
Okay. I'm giving you all the time you need to talk. Don't talk over her.
Okay, I understand. I'm sorry. There's just been a lot that's been going on with this.
And I'm, the first time I'm seeing it, so I'm trying to get to the bottom of it.
You're right.
All right, so we started with, what motion do you want to talk about first? You said your motion to set aside the default. That was granted by Judge Martin, is what I'm hearing from the prosecutor. So that motion's done. Would you agree?
As long as my money gets returned, then I guess it's taken
At
care
some
of.
point, trust me, your money will either get applied or returned. Next motion you want to talk about.
The dismissal based off of fundamental violations of my fundamental rights and due process.
Okay, well, tell me more.
Okay.
You have, hold on, let me just cut to the chase. You have more than just the fact that you think you have a right to travel.
Yes, Your Honor. Actually,
That's denied. I'll just cut to the chase. That's denied. I don't buy into that argument. Now, you can appeal that decision to the circuit court. You understand how that works? District court decisions you can appeal.
absolutely.
Okay, hold on. I denied that motion. We're not going to talk about that motion because I've denied it based on your argument that you have a right to travel and don't need a license. Is there anything else you want to hang your hat on for dismissal?
Well, I do object to the setting aside of my motion, Your Honor.
I'm not setting aside your motion. I'm denying your motion.
Well, denying, I object to the
You
denying.
can't
of my motion.
object. You can appeal.
But I'm just
Okay.
letting you know, I'm stating for the record that I am objecting to your denial of my appeal.
That's fine.
Okay.
Circuit court judges have bills to pay too, right? So you appeal me to the circuit court. Do you have any other argument why these cases should be dismissed?
Yes, absolutely. Well, honestly, Your Honor, like I said, I even have lawsuits. They've received my lawsuits to the Huron Township Police Department overall.
Hold on. I don't know anything about lawsuit. How would you suing the township work as a reason to dismiss these charges?
Because the initial traffic stop and everything was an unlawful stop from the get. I was
Okay, but that's got
retaliating.
nothing to do with your lawsuit. That might be the basis of your lawsuit. So you want to talk about whether or not there was a valid reason for a
Yeah,
stop?
absolutely.
Then make the argument.
Your Honor, so prior to me being pulled over by this officer, I was actually in contact with several law enforcement officers that are friends, and actually two that are currently working within Huron that had confirmed I had every lawful right to be doing what I was doing. The one even pulled up to me and my wife at a gas station and we in town. And we had, or in Sibley and Middlebelt, right near actually where I got pulled over. And we had discussed it and talked about it and went on our day. And this was all prior to this incident. I had 2 other interactions with this officer where I had specifically told him, I've already been confirmed and doing lawful, I'm well within my lawful rights. I have it documented. You need to go talk to the sergeant that I've been talking to and a couple other buddies, right? I gave him that opportunity. It was shortly after that. And this, I had that confirmation well prior to me even being pulled over. Okay. So then, this officer seen me leaving my house, pulling off my dead end dirt road, proceeded. Like I said, I even told him, I've already had this, I've already addressed this. You need to go talk to the sergeant.
Right.
Chose not to. Pulled me over, walked up, just started demanding ID and everything from me, and wouldn't identify himself, none of that good stuff. And then now this is where it's all led to. And I informed him, I have body cams, I have my own recording. Like I said, I have a lot.
Okay, but you started out by saying you wanted this dismissed because there was not probable cause for the stop.
Correct.
Okay. And then you went on to tell me how there was obviously a difference in opinion within the department about whether or not what you were doing was legal or not.
Well, I
Is that
specifically
a fair
stated.
summation?
What was that?
Is that a fair summation of what you just said? Some of the officers that you talked to said you could do that, and obviously the officer that wrote you the ticket didn't think you could.
Correct.
Okay, so that's a difference of opinion there, which has very little, if anything, to do with the probable cause for the stop. So I'm going to let the prosecutor explain her position on probable cause. That's it. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Defendant is requesting this court dismiss the case because of the accusation that operating an ORV on the roadway constitutes a blatant violation of his First Amendment rights and an improper attempt to regulate his constitutional freedom. In his most recent motion, he does accurately cite Terry v. Ohio as controlling. This was plainly a Terry stop.
Well, hold on. His argument is there was no reason for the stop.
He does cite Terry v. Ohio in his newest motion.
Okay.
Because people submit that the investigatory stop exception in Terry v. Ohio controls the validity of the traffic stop. An officer may stop and briefly detain a person on the basis of a reasonable suspicion that criminal activity is afoot. Defendant claims that he was stopped without legal justification. Rather, defendant was stopped for operating an ORV on the roadway in violation of MCL 324.81122 as adopted by Huron Township ordinance. Pursuant to the United States v. Ferguson, so long as the officer has probable cause to believe that a traffic violation has occurred or was occurring, the resulting stop is not unlawful and does not violate the Fourth Amendment. On authority of state law and township ordinance, a person shall not operate an ORV which is not registered upon a public highway, street, or right of way. On the date and time of the offense, the defendant operated an ORV which was not registered, specifically an ATV on Middlebelt Road, a public highway in Huron Township. Additionally, during the course of the investigatory stop, defendant failed to provide a valid driver's license and failed to immediately disclose that he was a valid CPL holder and carrying a firearm, which is why he was cited.
All right.
Which
So
I object to the.
hold on. All right. So the one misdemeanor is operate the ORV on the roadway, and the other one is fail to display a valid license.
That's
Okay.
correct.
All right. So that's her response to your argument. They didn't have probable cause. What's your reply to her response?
Well, I object to her terms of operate. There's no evidence that I was operating anything.
Okay, let me stop you. I killed that when I said the whole traveling thing doesn't go anywhere with me. Operating and traveling, as you define operating, or as you define traveling, we define it operating. So
Right.
hold on, I've already ruled on that issue. You can appeal that decision to the circuit court. We're not going to plow that field again. So now we're talking about probable cause. What I just heard was the township has an ordinance that says nobody can operate an ORV on a roadway. Would you agree that's an ordinance in the township?
Your Honor, I may agree.
Yes
with you
or
with that.
no? Mr.
Yes, I agree
Vito?
with that.
Okay, stop. If that's a valid argument or ordinance, and when I say valid, I don't mean if it's constitutional, if it's, stood the test of a challenge. I mean, if it's on the books, all right? If it's a valid ordinance and the officer sees you doing what that ordinance says you can't do, and he pulls you over, that's plenty of probable cause for the stop. So your motion to dismiss for lack of probable cause is also denied. Do you need me to clarify that ruling for your appeal reasons?
Yes, actually, because Your Honor, I object to
What
the
do
fact
you
that
not
it's calling it
understand?
an
Sir,
ORV.
your objections mean shit to me, okay? I don't care what you're objecting to. I don't expect people to like every decision I make. That's why there's an appellate process. So you keep saying, I object, I object, I object. I don't care. All right. It's not helpful for today's process. My decision to deny your motion to dismiss based on lack of probable cause is because there was probable cause, because there was a clear ordinance on the books that the officer thought you were violating. That gives the officer a reason to stop you. Do you have any other reasons why you think these matters should be dismissed today?
Yes, absolutely. First off, they're trying to label my private property as an ORV. It was not an ORV, and it's not even technically an ORV. If you look up the definition of ORV, it is not an ORV. If you look up the definition of automobile or vehicle or any of that sense, that's what it falls under. It does not fall under an ORV. They're just trying to label it as an ORV is what is happening.
Okay. That seems like that would be an issue for trial, for you to testify, maybe me to see some photographs, maybe the officer to testify, and then I'll decide whether or not it meets the definitions of the statutes. Would you agree with me? Because that seems like a triable issue.
I suppose, yes.
Okay, well, this isn't the trial.
Well, I
I
understand
don't think
that.
it's scheduled for trial. Right, this is just motion. All right. Any other issues that you want to hang your hat on as why it should be dismissed? It being these files.
Like I said, from the beginning, it's like the officer had already been notified 2 times prior to this that what I was doing was lawful, that what I was doing was not an ORV, which I had stated to him.
But that's
He's witness to that as
Mr.
well.
Purcell,
So again,
with respect, that's all your opinion. Obviously, the officer had a different opinion about all those things.
well,
Right?
the officer chose to retaliate against me is what happened, Your Honor. Which I have the evidence and I have witnesses going on,
Or he had a
Definitely.
difference of opinion about whether or not you were driving an ORV.
or just didn't understand the laws or
That
the
could be
actual
too.
wording.
That could be too. But guess who gets to make those decisions? At trial.
Well, I would honestly, the trial, I'd request a jury trial, which is guaranteed.
Well, you can't get a jury trial on the civil infraction, but you can certainly get a jury trial on the misdemeanors.
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you have anything else to be discussed today on motion day?
Well, yeah, and as far as the disclosed CPL, like I said, I have, again, stating I have the body cams and I have my own
But sir,
recording.
stop. That's going to be an issue at your formal hearing, whether or not you violated that civil infraction. Once again, I got to have evidence, right? I got to take testimony. I'm going to hear from you. I'm going to hear from the officer that wrote the ticket. And then I'm going to decide at formal hearing whether or not what you did was reasonable or not reasonable. But today's just motion day. Today's not the trial. No testimony is being taken.
Oh, I understand that.
Okay. Anything else today?
Well, I guess that's no, but like I said, again, for the record, I do object to moving forward. I do object to anything moving forward from this point.
File your appeal.
No, that's fine. I will.
File your appeal.
I'm going to. That's fine.
Okay. All right. Now, the 200, let's get back to the $280. We'll talk about a jury trial date. Are you going to represent yourself at a jury trial?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good luck. Okay. So was the $280 posted as a bond when the initial default happened?
I believe so. I know.
Do you
that-
have any record of $280? Because we're not getting receipts in the files anymore.
I have the receipt right here, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay. I'll return your 280 today. Anything else today? All right, let's talk about a date for a jury trial.
Which one would you like?
What was that?
September 16th or September 23rd? They're both Mondays.
Maybe the 23rd.
23rd?
8:30. All right, now, Mr. Purcell, I'm going to strongly suggest that you get an attorney involved in this. And we've got court-appointed attorneys, so we'll be happy to talk to you from this standpoint. I'm not taking you to law school on the jury trial day. I'm going to assume and treat you accordingly, that you know the rules of the game.
I understand, Your Honor.
You don't.
Oh,
You might say
comprehend.
that. You don't understand the rules.
I do.
Okay? How many jury trials have you had?
None, but I have all the evidence.
How many jury trials have you had?
Your Honor, none, but I have all the evidence.
The evidence isn't the rules. There are a lot of procedural rules that will trip you up if you don't know what you're up against, and you don't. I'm going to suggest to you that even if you want to handle your evidence presentation yourself, you might want to get an attorney involved to help you with the procedural rules, because once again, I'm not going to take you to law school that day. I'm not going to subject the jury to that. It would be a waste of their time. You understand that? All right. Now, and I'm not trying to talk you out of a jury trial. Believe it or not, I'm trying to save you from yourself right now. If you want to have a bench trial, I will be much more lenient with you not knowing what you're doing procedurally, because then it's just our time. But when it's a jury in here, I'm going to run the most efficient jury trial I can. And that means I'm going to treat you like you're an experienced lawyer and know all the rules.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So if you decide, number one, that you don't want a jury trial, you want to do a bench trial, let me know long in advance of that date so we can save it for somebody else. Or two, if you want the assistance of an attorney, I will give you the ability to talk to one of our court-appointed attorneys and see if they can assist you in the manner you want to be assisted.
Okay.
Understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any questions?
Nope.
Anything else?
Yeah.
Have a nice day.
Thank you.
People versus, is it Cosmo?
Oh, Your Honor.
Yeah, hold on, sir.
Sorry.
A question?
I go down and get my money, correct?
You should be ready by the time, walk slowly.
Right.
Is Cosmo, Cosme? Cosme, come on up.
Your Honor, for the record, Jeffrey Dodge, appearing on behalf of and with Mr. Cosby, who's approaching. Sir, could you tell the judge your name for the record?
Sir, Antonio Cosme.
Thank you.
Hello.
Your Honor, today's the date and time set for an arraignment in this matter. We waive formal reading and stand mute. Also had a chance to pre-try this. At this time, Mr. Cosby wishes to plead responsible, but you don't plead guilty to to a civil infraction.
Is this
He
a
wants to plead
three,
responsible to double.
is this a 350? The number?
350, yes, Your
Okay.
Honor.
All right. Is that true, sir? Is that the way you want to resolve this today?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you've agreed to pay fines and costs of $350?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
I believe they can pay it today, Your Honor.
I'll accept your plea to the civil infraction. I'll dismiss the misdemeanor that was issued on April 27th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Pay it today.
Yes, sir.
Do you know you owe us some money on another file?
No, I
Looks
did
like a
not, Your Honor.
speeding ticket, $230 due. Might have been the same day. Yeah, it was the same day
So in total,
from April
that,
27th. So it would be 230 on that, 350. So yeah, 580. Can you do it
okay.
all today?
Is there any way I can do the 350 today and then come back for a payment?
You
for
tell
the
me, you
second
pay
one?
350 today, we'll give you time on the other one.
Yes, sir.
All right, so this one now. All right, on the speeding ticket, go downstairs and make arrangements down there.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you,
any
Your Honor.
questions?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Nothing else, right?
Your Honor, I do have an adjournment on Mr.
You got that file yet?
Jay Phoebus. Your Honor, for the record, Jeffrey Dodge, appearing on behalf of Mr. Phoebus. Sir, could you tell the judge your name for the record, please?
I most certainly can. Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Jay Phoebus.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning.
Your Honor, today's the date and time set for arraignment in this matter. Wait for reading stand mute. We are requesting a final pretrial. I believe we have suggested July 25th, 9 a.m. if that's still available.
And this is a victim to, or a complainant to appear?
Complainant to appear, yes, Your Honor.
Okay, we're gonna get you notice, Mr. Phoebus.
Just have
Thank you, Your
Mr.
Honor.
Phoebus in a couple of minutes.
Was that what's wrong with that? Yes. Does he have work?
Yeah, he does.
I thought Maze, that was Maze in the back, or wasn't it?
Maze, not only you have.
I thought they were ready to go. I'm looking for files.
You said no.
Oh, they were just here for the show.
That could be the one.
Just set it for the same day of trial. Phone here.
Do you have any other files in front of you, Judge?
I got no work up here. I got all kinds of files waiting for work. Hey, Rob. Wonderful. Ready to go?
This is you here?
Yep, that's okay.
I'll take care of you. The other one will call. Come on over here for a second.
Sandusky? Come on up.
Guess where I'm going this afternoon? Sandusky. Is it yours?
It could be. One day.
How are you today?
Not bad, sir. You?
Good. You're going forward today without an attorney, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So you met with the prosecutor. It looks like they want me to dismiss, I think, both the original charges, right?
Correct.
Okay. And you're going to plead responsible to a third charge, double parking.
Correct.
All right. Okay. That's the way you want to resolve it today, Mr. Sandusky?
Yes, sir.
All right. You want to do it on civil infraction? All right. You owe us lots of money. We got some old stuff here.
I got everything right here, sir.
Oh, you got to take care of everything today?
No, I have everything that I owe right here. I was gonna see if I can get that added on to my payment plan.
Oh, you already got a payment plan with us?
Correct, sir.
All right. What are you doing? What, paying monthly?
Yes, sir. 72 a month.
Okay, nice round number. Yeah, this one, today's charge is 180 bucks. You want to just add that to the payment plan?
Correct.
Okay. We can do that. You need to go downstairs and get a new payment schedule. So they've got it all in the system as one deal. Okay.
Okay. Oh, actually, sir, is that payable? I could pay that today, correct? Like, could I pay that today?
You like pay it all?
The 180?
Oh, sure.
Oh, okay, then I'll do that.
You want to just pay that and then just stick with that payment plan?
Correct, sir.
That's fine. Yeah. Okay, and the payment plan, you're on track?
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything else?
No, sir.
You all set?
Yes, sir.
Enjoy your day.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks, sir.
I sent it down.
Jamie, I don't see a Parks.
Gabriel Parks.
Okay. Only orange files I got.
I think it's a misdemeanor.
Oh, you said civil infraction.
Oh, no, that's what I just, right there. There she is. I just want to listen to the charges for thing.
Come back with no know.
DWI.
They get rid of the stuff. This was just,
You want to ask Heather?
But was it to you?
There's an A.
It's very like inspired things.
Oh, my God. They're not listening to you, Heather. They say they want to ask you, but they're not listening.
They don't schedule A and B's together, they schedule them separate when they're show causes and the A is paid.
There is, it's already taken care of.
Who's this?
I have no idea. I have to find out.
Is it Gabrielle Parks?
Morning, Counselor. How are you, sir?
Good morning.
Did you check?
Good morning.
Are you going forward today without an attorney?
Yes.
Okay. I've got a piece of paper here that says Mr. Young is willing to dismiss the misdemeanor charge from April 20th if you plead responsible to a double parking civil infraction.
Yes.
That's what you want to do today? And you've agreed to pay $200?
Yes.
Can you do that today?
Would it be possible to be on a payment plan?
Go downstairs and set that up downstairs.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am. Enjoy your day. Who's the worst?
She's writing up now, thank you. Tim brought it in.
Communication.
Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Am I waiting on court papers for downstairs? Is that what I'm here for?
I don't know.
What's your last name, sir?
Beavis.
I'm getting it right now, thank you.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks for the storage.
Heather, I'm gonna let Jeff know he needs to start signing the top.
Yes.
How long has it been since you were in our building?
About 8 months. We had a trial, jury trial with one of the other judges involving the same building.
How are you doing?
Pretty good yourself. It's a gorgeous facility.
Isn't it nice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus the personnel are pretty good too.
We've got a great staff. But you know, this court has always had a good staff. Yeah. I mean, going back to when I sat in that chair, well, not that chair, but you know what I mean? Still had good staff. You've been around long enough. You know, some of those courts you walk into and you can just feel the tension because the people working there don't get along. We've never really had that to that extent. We've always had people that didn't like Heather, but not to that extent.
I can remember going to the 34th District Court when it was in the old schoolhouse on Eureka.
Yeah.
And I was sitting in the actual building, and Zabrowski was on the stand, and the state trooper came in and put the gun on counsel's table. Zabrowski went nuts. It was a rifle. And that was in the days of the shootings in San Francisco and all that stuff. He went absolutely nuts on that.
It was a piece of evidence. He just walked in and laid it down.
Pardon?
It was a piece of evidence. The rifle. It was evidence in the trial.
Oh yeah, but the cop left it and walked away. And that building, if you remember, the lobby was just crowded. It was just teeming full of people.
Yeah.
And he was sure shooting that he thought he could get shot. But there have been great stories with the judges and guns. The probate judge in Monroe County, I went into a conference with him, and he's getting ready to go on the bench, and he's tucking his 38 in his belt. And he says, "Yeah, Dennis, that's a 38. That's what I'm doing." He says, "I don't have a court officer, so I'm my own court officer." Well, as you can imagine, his bench was like yours, but the seats were real close to him.
Right.
And all I could picture is him getting nutsy cuckoo and plowing about 3 or 4 of us in a bit of anger. But the best stories are the true ones.
Yeah, almost always. Almost always. You keep him busy?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
This interfered a little bit. I had back surgery 2 months ago.
2 months? I'd say you're doing pretty good.
Yeah, well, I'm about to be let go by the doctor on this thing.
Good. Good for you. Good luck.
This is for one, Hubbard, and this is for the second, Hubbard. A copy for them and a copy for you, sir.
Okay, great. Do I need to hang around?
No, you are all set with us, sir.
Gee, that's pretty good. Well, what I want to make sure I do is
Make sure you check the times and dates and all that stuff works for you. Hey, guys.
9/1. What it was supposed to be.
I did search one last night
Oh,
for.
at 9/12, okay.
And.
Sir, how are you?
Yeah. As soon as I saw it.
Yeah. You hold on to this.
Where'd that white hair come from?
Hey, I earned it.
How are you?
That's a copy.
Yep.
COPD.
Yep.
I'm just waiting for Rob to bring you right.
Yep.
What are you up to, Bob? Come on up here.
6/10/24.
Stand right here.
See attached photo. Citation.
What are you doing now?
I'm trying to earn a living.
You still working?
Yeah, I have to.
Yeah. Still building?
No, just, I'm working for a guy that used to work for me. We're doing, have you seen the one-day shower stalls?
Yep.
We're doing those.
Okay. Probably a lot of work.
It's quick. You just-
Yeah, I mean, probably a lot of jobs though. A lot of people want to do it.
They're so backed up.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
they've got 14 different installers in this company. This is just a no-name company.
Right. Right. Yeah, they don't do the national advertising and they're still
No.
backed up.
She's not.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, Mr. Young says give you 60 days.
60 days.
All right. Heather's going to put together a paper notice for you. And we'll get it to you in just a second.
All right.
Good to see you. You look healthy.
You too. I'm trying.
Good. Good. You look good with white hair.
Well, you're getting there.
I'm getting there.
So you need some help or you good?
I'm good.
Okay. You guys have a good day.
Have a good day, gentlemen. Dennis, it's a pleasure.
I say hello to my favorite 34th district court person. Nothing personal.
No, no, none taken.
Pretty good. So,
Like here.
We're writing it up, we'll get it to you in 2 seconds.
Doing good.
We're still Zooming, but most of my criminal dockets are live. Yeah, yeah. But we're still, you know, if you want to watch what's going on, I'm on right now. I've got the camera on because people are just getting used to doing it. Yeah. Good morning, Mr. Nunley. Wonderful. Good to see you. What do you got? Give me a name.
Nicholas Levin.
With an L?
Yep.
Are you doing something today or are you German?
I'm doing something and adjourning. One's
Okay.
being dismissed, one's being adjourned.
Okay.
Nothing. How you been? You can see.
All right, People versus Leppin. Appearance.
Royce Stanley on behalf of the defendant, standing in for the attorney of record, Crystal Medina. I do believe at this time the prosecutor is going to dismiss the assault and battery charge, and we just need an adjournment for the second charge.
Okay, I can handle the dismissal. Heather's gonna get you a notice on the adjournment.
Sounds great. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Leppin, I'm assuming it's okay with you if I dismiss it.
Yes.
All right. Royce, I was trying to get you some work earlier.
Oh, I almost ran out of the courtroom as soon as you said, you know, oh, I'm happy to assign someone. You would have seen like the cartoons, like me going through the wall and just like imprintedly going through it.
Well, you know, these guys killed me.
I've never listened
If-
to the
if-
one about the travel, like time traveler or whatever. I've never-
The last few sovereigns I've had in front of me, honestly, they had decent legal arguments. They just don't know how to get them out, you know?
The one that I think.
Not that the traveling's a good argument.
I heard half of it. He
Yeah.
said like whatever he was driving under the definition wasn't like an ATV.
So that might be a good
That might
argument.
be- that might be
Yeah,
something.
you know, because there are,
I don't know, for Crystal, so. just-
Young September.
you know, there's a lot of stuff out there that's like hybrid stuff that since all those ordinances and statutes were written. So there could be something that falls through the cracks,
Yeah, absolutely.
but he's not gonna get anywhere with his vitriol.
No, what is the, like, what is the trap? I don't understand that.
It goes way back when we traveled, you know,
I know this.
without machines.
We have a constitutional right to travel. Is it some kind of like?
That's what they're using. They're saying I've got a constitutional right to travel and you can't restrict my right to travel by making me have a driver's license.
Okay.
And honestly, my memory stinks, but one of the first things I remember learning in driver's education was like day one, driving is a privilege granted by the state of Michigan. It's not a right.
Right.
We'll take that privilege away if you break the rules.
Right. It seems like pretty,
Yeah. Well, and that's what I try to shut them off. It's like, look, I don't buy that argument. I'm going to deny your argument, but go ahead, appeal me.
Right.
You know, if you really think you're on solid footing legally, go appeal me. Circuit court judge can tell me I'm wrong. which ain't gonna happen because those arguments have been tried repeatedly.
I was in Oak Park a month ago, and they were, the jury was there for some sort of sovereign.
Right.
Same sort of, I didn't stick around to watch. I wanted to, because Josh Kaplan now is the prosecutor over there.
I didn't, where at?
Oak Park.
I didn't, I don't think I knew that.
I knew he was a prosecutor somewhere.
Yeah, I didn't know he was Oak Park though. Yeah.
Yeah, he was MIDC over there. Happened for a long time. But then.
Good for him.
They had the guy who had been there, this guy, Gene Lumber, who'd been the prosecutor there for literally, I think, like 50 years. or so.
Cool.
He finally retired and put it up for bid.
Oh, good for Josh. Yeah. He lives out in that area, I think, doesn't he?
He does.
Yeah.
And he's a much more reasonable individual than the guy who's been there forever. Like, I've been in that other guy's office, like, as house counsel, and heard him say some borderline things that could have got the city sued.
Yeah.
About maybe some individuals.
Yeah.
In the building, so everyone has like stories about it.
Yeah. So it was good time to go.
Oh,
Yeah.
All
All right. Good to see you. Have a good day.
A defendant representing himself in court tries to argue that the traffic stop against him was illegal and claims he has the right to travel without following vehicle laws. The judge carefully listens, but explains that local ordinances still apply and the officer had probable cause to make the stop. When the defendant continues interrupting and objecting, the judge warns him about courtroom rules and reminds him that strong beliefs do not replace actual law. The motions to dismiss are denied, and the case moves forward toward a possible jury trial. Do you think representing yourself in court is a good idea? Like and subscribe for more real courtroom moments.